They nailed it shut for a reason. It was nearly midnight when Ethan went, exhausted and drenched by the relentless downpour, finally pulled up in front of a dilapidated roadside motel. The rain hammered the asphalt like nature's verdict, unyielding and unforgiving. A flickering neon sign, its letters barely holding together, displayed a solitary vacancy. The sickly green light cast restless shadows on the puddles, transforming every drop of rain into an omen. Inside, Ethan was met by an old woman behind a battered desk. Her face, marked by deep lines of sorrow and resignation, offered no warmth. Only a silent exchange as she slid a corroded key across the counter. Room 34, it read, as if whispered by fate. The room was a study in decay, peeling wallpaper, the stench of mildew thick in the stagnant air, and a lone bed that seemed to recoil at the slightest touch. In a far corner, Ethan's tired eyes caught sight of an oddity, a window tightly sealed shut. Across its frosted surface, faded letters warned, "Do not open." Curiosity mixed with desperation. Despite his fatigue, Ethan couldn't resist the challenge. He retrieved a screwdriver from his bag and pried at the window's wooden frame. With a reluctant groan, the frame gave way, unleashing a blast of cool air that briefly revived him in the oppressive heat. Yet, his relief was short-lived. Along the window's exterior, his gaze fell upon a series of rusty, crooked nails, hammered in meticulously from the outside. They weren't there merely to ward off the storm. They formed a grim barrier, as if to imprison something unseen. A chill ran down his spine, but Ethan laughed nervously, probably just extra storm-proofing. He muttered to himself, dismissing the strange detail as an oddity of an old building. The haunting revelation. Morning came with a reluctant fog hanging over the motel. Over a hastily eaten sandwich at the front desk, Ethan couldn't hide his lingering concern. "I opened the window last night," he mentioned, voice trembling ever so slightly, "and found nails driven in from the outside with a sign that said, 'Do not open.'" At these words, the old woman's face paled. Her hand, gripping a worn pen, trembled as she confessed in a near whisper, "That window, it isn't nailed shut for rain. Months ago, a troubled man stayed in that very room. One night, he opened it, and he never came back. He jumped right out of that window." She paused, her eyes darting nervously toward the dim hallway. After his death, guests began to report strange whispers in the night. Some even claimed they felt ghostly hands pushing them toward that very window. "We couldn't afford to replace it, so we had no choice but to nail it shut, not to block the storm, but to keep his restless spirit from luring anyone else." A sickening realization gripped Ethan. "You're serious?" he stuttered, his earlier nonchalance now replaced by mounting dread. Without another word, the old woman shook her head slowly, her silence more damning than any explanation. The final encounter. Ethan's heart pounded as he hurried down the narrow corridor. With every step, the weight of the old woman's words pressed down on him. Halfway to the exit, something made him pause. In the grim reflection of a darkened window, he saw a figure standing unnervingly close behind him. A man, pale, with a jaw slack and eyes burning an unholy red, loomed in the glass. His twisted, veiny hands gripped Ethan's shoulders with a strength that froze his blood. In that breathless moment, the corridor lights sputtered and died, shrouding him in impenetrable darkness. The sound of thunder rolled through the silence, sealing his fate. Ethan realized too late that he had become part of a tragic legacy, a restless spirit reaching out from beyond, desperate to ensnare another soul.